Can I give you one of these guys, a free of charge? It's a coin.
Thank you very much.
Got the gospel on one side, 10 commandments on the other.
Lovely, thank you.
Do you believe in an afterlife?
I think I do.
You do? Right, and you, sir?
I'm one of those that believes that your energy goes into the ground and is respawned elsewhere.
Right, so you don't believe in a God?
No, I believe that there is a variety of gods.
Well there is,
Deities.
but we call them idols.
Yeah.
They're not gods. Trust me, they can do nothing that the Bible God can do. I can prove him in 30 seconds. You see this building? How do you know there was a builder?
How do I know?
There was a builder.
Because the builder was born.
Because the building is there. You can see it.
Yeah.
Like if there's a painting and it's 400 years old, you know there were a painter. Because the painting's there. And all this creation, this beautiful planet that we live on, it's all designed. There has to be a creator. Atheists, like yourself, believe that nothing created everything. It's ludicrous, isn't it?
No, it's not that. I mean, I would rather not believe in a God where he cursed me with cancer at the early age of 30.
Right, well, I'm sorry about that. Is that what's happened? Right.
I came back, I had typhoid, sepsis, and then when they
You
did
came
blood
back
tests,
from where?
Indonesia,
Oh, right.
and they confirmed that I had chronic myeloid leukemia.
Right.
So now I have got part of my hip is
Right.
fake,
Okay.
and a third of my thigh bone
Oh, well, I'm
is
sorry
a
about
rod.
that. Yeah, yeah.
So what sort of God has there got to be to put
Well-
me through all that on my deathbed, looking at him in the eyes to tell him that I may not survive?
Right, well, what's your name?
Dan,
Dan and
Leo.
Leo. I'll pray for you. I certainly will. You might not think it'll help, but I know it will. I mean, it might not heal you,
No,
but it might give you the strength to get through it, and it might ease your pain. We don't know. But the thing is, unless you can understand the beginning, the creation, and if you read the story of the creation, you'll see that men messed it up. It's not God's fault. Men messed it up because they
mankind
wouldn't.
is the worst thing in the world.
Exactly. We know that. I mean, we see it all over the
I
place.
see it all over in my job line. I knock on doors and I investigate animal cruelty, and I can see just what mankind can put
Of
animals
course.
through.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it's you look at the world slightly differently
Yeah,
for it.
yeah. No, I understand that. But I mean, if
So it's a bit
there
deflating.
was a God, and would you believe in a heaven and hell? Is that something that you would?
It's something that I would hope that there is light at the end of the tunnel
Yeah,
after all the fighting.
yeah.
But my core belief, being a pagan, is when you pass away, your life energy goes into something else.
Right, you go back to dust, basically.
You go back to dust, but
Right.
the life
No,
energy
I understand
crops up
that.
either
Right.
within Mother Gaia.
Right. No, I say that. That is sad, and I'll tell you for why. If there's no heaven, think about the 7-year-old child that's been abused all its life, and then the parents kill it. What sort of life has that got? There's no future for it. What about people, mass murderers? Hitler and Mussolini, they mass murdered people, and yet they get away with it. There's got to be a hell for, you know what I mean, to get justice.
I would like to hope that there is,
That's right.
but then on the flip side, you'd be saying to yourself that God's allowing them to do that. Why is He not stopping
Well,
them from doing it?
what if it started with you? How good have you been in your life?
I think I've led a pretty good life.
Right.
I've not been golden boy, certainly
No.
not by any means, but I've
Right.
made that debt.
Yeah? Yeah? How many lies have you told in your life?
Far too many.
So you've at least told one lie, and it makes you a liar.
But that's what humans are.
That's exactly. That's my point.
We're not fallible.
That's my point. If you've told one lie, you're a liar. If you kill one person, you're a murderer. You see what I mean? Have you ever stolen anything, no matter how small?
No, never stolen.
Never. Never downloaded music off the internet. Never watched a pirate movie.
No.
No? Well, God bless you. I'll give you that one.
No.
Have you ever used God's name in vain? Like you stub your toe and
course.
straight away
Of
comes
course.
out of your mouth.
How many of us have never done that? I have, yes.
Do you love your mum?
Of course I do.
Would you ever use her name as a swear word?
I would if I want to put the force of God in
You would.
somebody.
You love her and respect her, don't you? Of course you
course I
do.
do.
Yeah, but you use God's name as a swear word, and He gave you a mum. He gave you life, eyes with 137 million light cells. That that there's got to be a creator. The eye cannot work unless it's all there at one time. It can't have evolved. It's garbage that they're telling us. Honestly, it is. Trust me.
I don't think you do.
I'll get you with this one because you're a guy. It says in the Bible you haven't got to commit adultery. Have you ever committed adultery?
No.
Right, well Jesus said this. Whoever looks at someone with lust, sexual desire, has committed adultery in their heart already. And he says if somebody's hates someone, they've committed murder in their heart. He's taking the standard up. You know what I mean? So all this stuff that we've just been laughing and joking about is serious to God. Put it into us because it goes over his head. You know what I mean? But what did God do for guilty sinners so that we didn't have to go to hell, if there is one?
Well, you would hope that crime and punishment out-level each other, but we know in this day and age it doesn't.
Right, you've heard of
It
Jesus
also
dying on a
serves-
cross, yeah?
Allegedly, yes.
Right, okay. Well, when he died, and we're from a church down the road, and we're trying to get people to change their mind about Christianity because they've got a wrong idea. All they're doing is think about the wars, the crusades, what priests do to kids, things like that. They've distorted religion altogether. We're followers of Jesus Christ. We avoid Christianity being used when we speak about it. We're followers of Jesus Christ, and His word were what's in the Bible. But when He died, He said 3 words just before He died, and this, if you can grasp this, it'll change everything for you. His last 3 words, they were said in Aramaic, written in Greek, but the translation is paid in full. And what He was saying was, He's paid in full what you've done wrong, what your son's done wrong, what I've done wrong. He's paid it in full. If you're in court and you've got a £1,000 fine to pay and you can't pay it, if someone comes, what's your name?
Dan.
Again?
Dan.
Dan and
Leo.
Leo, right. If Dan's in court and he's got a £1,000 fine to pay, he's done something really bad, and he can't pay it, someone comes in and says, I'll pay Dan's fine for him. The judge can legally let you go. You're still guilty, but you admit your crime, you say you're sorry, and you're out of court. And that's exactly what Jesus did. He paid the fine for everything that we've done wrong.
I'm a full believer of paying it forward. There's nothing wrong. There is too much evil in this world without.
Yeah.
Why not buy somebody a coffee on the street?
Yeah.
What harm's that going to do to you?
That's right.
How's that going to affect their day?
Yeah.
Very, very much.
Yeah.
I'll tell you who would be very interested in talking to you. Is my other half.
Right.
She's an avid Christian.
Right.
From Indonesia.
Right.
And she goes to church every Sunday. However, going over on that one, because Sunday's the Sabbath, isn't it?
Yeah.
Should it be right if I get stoned to death for working the Sabbath?
No, that's all Old Testament stuff. When Jesus came, the New Testament came in on all those laws that were for the Jewish religion. You know what I mean? For they to follow it. And when Jesus came, it was the Jews who crucified him, not the Romans. It was the Jews who crucified him for blasphemy because he was saying he was God. He claimed to be God, and that's why the Jews crucified him. So all those laws, they all went when Jesus came. But he was a Jew, he was the same as them, but they wouldn't accept him.
Which gets us back to the big open world of never judge a book.
Exactly. But if
I'm
you
a
went
redhead.
into the... Sorry?
I'm a redhead, he's a redhead.
Yeah. I used to be.
In the ancient Romans, we would have been classed as demon spawn and murdered for it. I'm one of these that believes in the here and now that we just need to be nice to one another. What's wrong with that? Doesn't matter if you believe in Jesus and God. That's fine. That's fine. I'm not going to hate you for it.
Right.
There's no point in me
Right,
doing that.
that's fine. Yeah.
Same as I'm a pagan.
Yeah.
You respect that side of things. You don't slander myself, and I don't slander you. And that's the way that we should be in this world. We should be more tolerant of one another, not hate.
I agree with you entirely.
Because hate breeds
I really thank you for listening to me, because it's not often that I get people that will discuss like we have.
At the end of the day,
I enjoy discussions like this.
Where is it? Where have we gone to if we can't just have an adult
Exactly.
conversation?
Let me just give you one of these, right? This is a John's Gospel, and it might not mean a lot to you. Your wife will certainly know about it, but these are Jesus' words, who claimed to be God. He was God. Truly, truly, I tell you, no one can see the kingdom of God unless they're born again. And being born again is trusting on what he did on that cross. When he was on that cross, he was paying in his blood, that was the currency, and his suffering for what we've all done.
Yeah.
And then 3 days later, he rose again from the dead to prove there were eternal life. And the evidence for that is overwhelming. A lot of people just dismiss it, but the evidence, if you study it, there's loads of ways you can do it by YouTube and going on there, but the evidence is absolutely overwhelming. But every other religion, apart from true Christianity, they believe that you've got to be good to get into heaven. In other words, like Muslims, they believe you've got to, the good has got to outweigh the bad, like a scale, if you know what I mean. Every other religion's the same. There's only true Christianity where it's bought and paid for you. So if you're born again, God's Spirit comes into you and changes your mind about all the sin, the bad stuff that we do. You know what I mean? And 4 years ago, God put me in hospital for a triple bypass. Rip open my chest, did a triple bypass, new valve in, and the night before I went down, I was terrified, absolutely terrified. I'd been a Catholic all my life. I prayed before I went down and I said, God, get me through this operation, and if you do, you've got my life. And that's what I've done. Basically, he changed my life. All my way of thinking, you want to know me 4 years before I had my operation. I were evil, honestly, evil. The stuff that I've done, you would not believe. But everything just changed. It was a miracle. That's the biggest miracle, salvation, truly. But you ask your wife, she'll understand. You see this movie here,
Yeah.
It's had 30 million views. The channel's got 300 million. It's amazing. If you're an atheist, watch it, because it will change your mind. I trust me, it will. That's our church, we're just down by the bus station. But if I'd have said to my wife all them years ago before I married her, here's a rule book, love, keep them rules for 40 years, and if you keep them, then I'll marry you. She'd have laughed at me. Nobody starts a relationship like that. Every other religion think that's what God is like. But Christianity is a relationship with God, it's not a religion. In the dictionary, religion binds you. That's what it says, it binds you. And you look around at the different religions, no matter what it is, and they've all got to follow rules. They're all bound up in keeping rules. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean for a Christian you can go out and just sin again. You don't want to sin anymore when you change. Trust me. Thanks for talking to me. You've been really kind.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, before you go, you've been on video. It's here. Do you mind if I use it for YouTube?
Come on, mate.
Go for it.
Right, thank you very much. Thank you. Have a good read, and I'll be praying for you both. God bless.
Thank you.
I'll certainly be praying for you. God bless.